Hello, welcome to Live Parkinson's, a show dedicated to helping people living with Parkinson's live an exceptional life. I'm your host, Chris Kustenbotter, and I've been living an exceptional life with Parkinson's for the past 13 years. This podcast is focused on the 4 strategies that I've been using to lead an exceptional life with Parkinson's. These strategies were developed through extensive research and studying people with Parkinson's who are accomplishing great things. This podcast is designed for people living with Parkinson's, their family and friends, caregivers, and anybody else who can help you live a great quality of life after your Parkinson's diagnosis. In this episode, I will unveil my 4 strategies for living an exceptional life with Parkinson's. I will go into great detail in subsequent podcasts on each strategy, so I hope you will join me in future episodes. Now, before we dive in, I have a brief disclaimer that this podcast is for educational purposes and is not designed to diagnose or treat Parkinson's. Please ensure you are following the specific treatment plan that your physician designed with you based on your specific health needs. Information being shared is based on my own personal experiences living with Parkinson's. So, let's dive in. Were you or a family member overwhelmed and confused about the diagnosis you received and didn't know where to turn or what to do? I know exactly how you feel. That's why I wanted to start this podcast. I wanted to help others by sharing what I've learned over these past 13 years based on the best research and the latest research to help me maintain and lead a great quality of life. So, let me start by briefly sharing my journey with Parkinson's because I think it'll give you some good perspective on how I developed the 4 strategies that we're going to be talking about in just a few moments. So, if you'll indulge me for a few minutes, then I'll unveil my 4 strategies in the hopes that they can help you and your family on your Parkinson's journey. Every life has a story, and this is my story. My Parkinson's journey began in 2011 when I was just 47 years old. I began noticing I had a tremor in my left hand, and it wouldn't go away. And then as I was taking walks with my wife, I noticed I was dragging my left leg. So I made an appointment with a primary care physician. He conducted some tests and then referred me to a neurologist. The neurologist tried a number of different tests to try to figure out what was going on, and then eventually referred me to the University of Maryland Neurology Clinic. It was there that I received my diagnosis of Parkinson's disease. After I left the clinic and on my hour ride home, I began staring out the window, thinking about the diagnosis I had just received, and I realized I was at a crossroads in my life. I had 2 choices. I could choose the dark road on the right and decide I'm just going to go home, drop out of a lot of the activities that I enjoyed, drop out of a lot of the social activities that I participated in, and just, become homebound. Or I could choose the path on the left, the bright side. That side of the road enabled me to take control of Parkinson's, because what I decided at that particular moment was that I owned my life, not Parkinson's. Parkinson's was just along for the journey. So it was at that point that I decided to take control of my life, begin to develop the 4 strategies that I'm going to be talking about in a moment. So, after making the decision that I was going to control Parkinson's and not let it control me, I spent the next 2 months doing extensive research and studying everything I could about Parkinson's disease. My degree's in biology, so I enjoyed reading the studies and the findings and how it could apply to my life and make my life better. At the same time that I was doing all this extensive research, I also wanted to study what was it about certain individuals with Parkinson's that were still able to do exceptional things. I noticed there was people that were running marathons, that were climbing mountains, There was professional baseball players with Parkinson's. What were these people doing that made them exceptional? Why were they able to continue to do the things that they were doing after a Parkinson's diagnosis? I mean, after all, most of us, when we get a Parkinson's diagnosis, think that our life has changed forever, that the things that we used to do, we're not going to be able to do anymore. Well, that's a fallacy that I wanted to point out, that we can still continue to do the things that we want to do if we choose to do so. So, it was based on this research and studying these exceptional people that I developed the 4 strategies, or I call them pillars as well, that I was going to use as my guidepost to how I was going to live my life with Parkinson's. Since I developed these strategies, I've had laser-like focus, which has enabled me to continue to participate in family activities, continue to do the exercises I enjoy, and stay active with my hobbies. I love to play guitar, play songs for friends and family, learn new songs, challenge myself with solos. I also love tying flies and fly fishing. I enjoy the peace of the outdoors when I'm fly fishing, and then I also enjoy going up to my cabin and sitting around the campfire with my friends and family, talking about, the world and how things are. But to be honest, I don't want to paint a completely rosy picture either, because there are many challenging days that I have to push through with Parkinson's. Days with poor balance, tremors, which make it difficult to do tasks that require fine motor skills. Some days my tremors are bad enough that I can't practice guitar or tie flies. So I don't look at it as an impediment. I look at it as, okay, if I can't do this today, what can I do instead? Also, if you think about all the wonderful motor and non-motor symptoms that are associated with Parkinson's, lack of sleep, anxiety, muscle cramps that wake you up in the middle of the night, all those things that come with Parkinson's, I've experienced. So I don't want to paint a rosy picture and have you think that, I've lived an exceptional life, but that everything is peaches and cream, because there are days it's a struggle, but it's all about how you approach life. So really what I want to do is recognize the struggles that we all go through on a daily basis. But I want to show you at the end of this podcast and in future podcasts that we can overcome the struggles and challenges and still live a happy and rewarding and challenging life. Now that you have some perspective on my Parkinson's journey and how I developed the 4 strategies for living an exceptional life, let's pull back the curtain and reveal what they are. The 4 strategies that I use for leading an exceptional life are, number 1, and one that I consider probably the most important along with my medication, is exercise. Exercise is the first pillar. Number 2, nutrition. Good nutrition is a key to help maintain a healthy and active lifestyle. So I'll talk a little bit more about nutrition here in a few moments. Number 3, which is one of my personal favorites, and I've actually written several articles on, and it goes along with the number 1 pillar that I talked about, exercise. Number 3 is attitude. Our attitude defines our altitude, as they say. And finally, number 4 is just as important as the others, and that is community and social interaction. It's important to maintain social interactions on a daily basis so that you can continue to live a great quality of life and do the things that you want to do and stay active with your family, for family gatherings, for holidays, and to do the things that you like to do with your friends, whether it's, go to a movie or, go out to dinner, bowling, golf, all those things. You want to be able to continue to do those. So again, just to recap, the 4 strategies are, number 1, exercise. Number 2, nutrition. Number 3, attitude. And number 4, social interactions and community. Now, let's take a look at each strategy in a little more detail. Now, I want you to keep in mind that in future episodes, I'm going to be having experts on in each of these topic areas to provide more detail and share research and their experiences to help you with things that you can use to interact on a daily basis to have a great quality of life. And I'll also be having some friends and family on them. I actually participate in a group at the York, PA Jewish Community Center, and the program is called Momentum, and it was developed by Susanna Gillespie and Jen Winters, and it's designed for people with Parkinson's disease and other neurological disorders to help improve exercise, cognition, flexibility, balance. It's a great overall program, which I'll be talking about a little bit more here and as we dive deeper into the strategies. So let me share how I use the 4 strategies. Starting off with number 1, exercise. I like to incorporate a broad range of different types of exercises because I enjoy a lot of different exercises. And that's one of the recommendations that I would make to you, is that pick exercises that you enjoy. Because if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to stick with it. And exercise is so important in Parkinson's to help with mobility, flexibility, strength, and balance, that you want to pick exercises that are going to keep you active. So whether that be walking with your spouse, walking with a friend, dog walking group, swimming, group fitness activities, taking a yoga class, just do what you like. And if you do what you like, you'll continue doing it. So when I approach exercise, I include a broad range of different exercises, but I really target the exercises that I am involved with to help me with my balance, my strength and flexibility, my cognition. All those things are important in helping me maintain a good quality of life and being active in the community. In addition, I participate in group activities. One of the benefits of these is not only are they challenging from an exercise perspective, but they give me a great opportunity to have social interactions with a great group of people. And number 1, it gives me a sense of camaraderie that I feel part of the group. But in addition, in group fitness classes, also people in there support each other and are going to help cheer and lead you to where you want to go. In addition, they push you to do things that you didn't think you were going to be able to accomplish. The people in the class will, push you and help you overcome some of the obstacles that you think are in your way. So if I had one recommendation, it would be that you participate in group fitness activities. So, what exercises do? I walk on a daily basis because I think walking is important. I do lap swimming 3 times a week because it's great for flexibility and, believe it or not, balance. I participate in a class called Soul Fusion. Soul Fusion is a combination of yoga, strength, flexibility, and core training. It throws a little bit of cardio in there as well, so it's a great class. I also participate in a barre class. That's BARRE, and that's a combination of cardio, weights, stretching, and Pilates. I do a spin class once a week, and then I also participate in water aerobics. In addition to that, I do the Momentum program, which is designed for people with Parkinson's and other neurological disorders. But we spend a great deal of time on doing exercises that are going to help with our balance, our flexibility, our strength, and our cognition. So a lot of times we'll combine exercises to do 2 things at one time. But I'll give you some more information on the Momentum program in the description for this podcast, and in a link if you want to find out just what Momentum involves. Now that I've shared my exercise program with you, I want to turn our attention to why exercise is important for those of us living with Parkinson's. If you look at the research, there are 4 particular benefits that I want to point out on how exercise can help you maintain a good quality of life. So let's take a look at those benefits now. Number 1, it can help you improve your motor function. One of the things that we often run into with Parkinson's is that we have a stoop posture, we start to shuffle our feet, we become slow. Improving your motor function through exercise is going to help you with your balance, your coordination, and your agility. And those are all important so that you can help prevent falls. That's one of the dangers that we want to prevent, is having a fall, because that can lead to other devastating type of injuries. Number 2 is increased strength and flexibility. Exercise helps improve both your muscle tone, your strength, and your flexibility. Flexibility exercises such as stretching and yoga are very important. I recommend doing stretching every day. It helps to keep you opened up and helps keep you from hunching over, because, as you know, Parkinson's causes the muscles to become rigid, and we turn our shoulders in and we start to hunch over. So yoga can be exercise, or stretching and yoga can be very important to help increase your range of motion and improve your joint mobility. So if you haven't tried it, they're both great exercises, and I recommend trying to do them at least several times a week to help maintain your flexibility. Number 3 is enhanced cardiovascular fitness. One of the things that we want to help make sure is that we keep our heart and lungs healthy, and we can do that through aerobic exercises, which I'll share with you in just a few moments. But keeping your cardiovascular system healthy is going to help make sure that you can do the things that you want to do, and you don't have to sit on the sidelines and watch other people. And number 4, mood elevation and well-being. You've probably heard of the runner's high, but exercise releases endorphins, and they can help you elevate your mood. One of the things that endorphins can help you with is they can help reduce anxiety, and then oftentimes even help alleviate depression that may go along with Parkinson's disease. So these are 4 distinct benefits that you can get from exercise. So that's why exercise is my number 1 pillar that I talked about. Another thing, regular exercise can help improve your cognitive function and attention and memory. That's one thing I try to work on a lot through reading, games. I work on writing blogs for websites. So it's important that you keep your mind engaged and always challenging yourself so that you can help maintain your cognitive function. In fact, there was a study done that was published and shared by the National Parkinson's Foundation, and it's called the Parkinson's Outcome Project. And it showed that people with PD who start exercising early in the course of their disease for a minimum of just 2.5 hours per week experienced a slower decline in the quality of life compared to those who started later. So that's additional data that shows you that exercise is so important in helping you to maintain an active lifestyle. So what type of exercises should I do? You're probably asking yourself that question. Let's take a look at some. First off, one of the things that I try to work on at least several times a week is balance exercises. Tai Chi is a great course to take for balance, as well as yoga, dancing, and non-contact boxing. They're all great exercises to help you with your balance. Balance is so important in helping to prevent falls. Number 2 is coordination activities. Walking, cycling, dancing. Those are all considered coordination activity. You need to be able to coordinate your arms and your legs as well as balance at the same time. So those 3 type of activities are a great way to work on your coordination. Strength and flexibility. Maybe you don't have the opportunity to go to the gym. You can get resistance bands off of online. You can use free weights, kettlebells, weight plates, but you can also just do body weight exercises. You can do push-ups and squats. Those are all going to help you build strength and flexibility. And you can also use common household items, probably things that you don't even think about. Canned goods, you can use towels for doing tricep extensions. You can take empty luggage and use two at a time to work on squats. So there's a lot of household items that you can use. Water jugs, milk jugs. You can use those for bicep curls, shoulder press, a lot of different exercises. So you don't necessarily have to join a fitness center to be able to experience the benefits of exercise. It's important to look around the house and see what's available. Another type of exercise that I think is important is cardio fitness. We talked about vascular fitness as one of the benefits, and so what are some cardio exercises that are that may help you out? Walking, cycling, boxing, dance or Zumba, swimming or water fitness, even simple things like yard work around the house. Those are all aerobic exercises that are designed to get your heart rate up. And that's really the purpose of helping to build your cardiovascular fitness, is to build up or to increase your heart rate and make it more efficient. And then number 5 is exercises that help with your mood and well-being. You're probably thinking to yourself, well, how is exercise going to help me with my mood and well-being? Well, there's a lot of unique classes that you can take or watch on. They're also available on YouTube. They would include Tai Chi, Zumba. There's a program called Dancing for Parkinson's Disease, and boxing. These are all exercises that are going to help you with your mood and your well-being. So that's a brief summary of the first pillar, exercise. Now let's turn our attention to the second strategy or pillar, which is nutrition. All right, let's talk about nutrition. It's important that people with Parkinson's make sure that you're getting both your macronutrients and your micronutrients. You're probably asking yourself, what's the difference between a macro and a micronutrient? I'm glad you asked that question. Macronutrients would be your protein, carbohydrates, and fats. And the easy way that I try to remember, it's not always the case, but majority of the time it is the easy way to remember it is proteins walk around above the ground, carbohydrates are in the ground. So proteins would be your meats, your dairy products, your eggs, and your nuts. All those, if you think about it, come from animals that walk on the ground, and chickens laying eggs, and then nuts from trees that grow. Carbohydrates, not all, but most are grown in the ground, and those would include all your vegetables, but they also include your grains such as wheat, corn, rice, barley. So you want to look for complex carbohydrates that contain a lot of fiber, because fiber is going to help slow digestion, and you're going to get more benefit. So look for oatmeal, multigrain breads, low sugar cereals, and then make sure you eat plenty of colorful fruits and vegetables. Now, one of the things with proteins that I do want to mention is that a lot of, especially with carbidopa, levodopa, if you eat too much protein, taking it too close to your dose, it can block the absorption of your protein. So it's important that you try to stay away from taking your carbidopa, levodopa if you're going to be eating a lot of proteins at a particular meal. And then finally are the fats. A lot of times we panic and say, oh, we have to avoid fat. No, fats are actually essential part of your diet. But what you want to do is minimize saturated fats. Those would be your animal fats and butter. So, and also your trans fats, things like margarine. And trans fats are fats that help keep a product stable for a long period of time so it can sit on the shelf. So, some examples of healthy fats that you really want to focus on: olive oil, avocados are a great source of fat. You put those in salads, on sandwiches, and then your fish oils are all another great source of fats. Now, that's the macronutrients: proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. But what are micronutrients? These would be your vitamins and minerals. Um, One of the important vitamins and minerals that you want to take is both vitamin D and calcium, which are going to help work in combination to help prevent osteoporosis, brittle bones. So you don't want to have brittle bones, which can cause you to fall and then have hip fractures and other fractures that can put you in a rehabilitation center for a while. Vitamin A is important for vision, but there's a lot of different vitamins out there. So ask your doctor which vitamins and minerals are most appropriate for you as part of your health plan. So remember, it's all about balance. Now, am I perfect in my diet? Absolutely not. To be perfectly honest with you, it's um, if you put a bag of chips down, or if somebody brings over a pie, I'm the first in line. So I have to, make sure that I have balance in my nutrition as well. So try to eat healthy a majority of the time. Eating healthy a majority of the time and getting your macro and micronutrients is going to help you ensure that you're getting all the essential nutrients that you need. All right. Now let's take a look at pillar number 3, which is attitude, which is, again, one of my favorites. So let's dive right in. Right now, let's turn our attention to strategy number 3, which is one of my personal favorites and ranks right up there with exercise, and that is attitude. I think attitude is so important in helping you live an exceptional life after a Parkinson's diagnosis. I think most people would tend to tell you that I live a very positive life, and I try to share that positivity with others, because people that are positive tend to be more engaged in social activities. They're more empathetic. They like to listen to what people say. So I think it's important that I start off my day with the 3 things that I'm grateful for. It really helps set the tone for the day, and it helps me start off on a positive note. So, are there really benefits to living with a positive attitude? Well, there absolutely are. There's a ton of research out there on it, but I'm going to save a lot of that for podcast number 2, so I don't want to spoil what's going to come up in the next episode. So I'm just going to touch briefly on some of the benefits of living a positive life, so that you can have a great quality of life as well. Number 1 is it helps to with resilience. Every day we face challenges. We wake up in the morning. Some days are more challenging than others. Some days we may have more problems with our fine motor skills, or we may have trouble with our balance. But having a positive attitude is going to help you remain resilient and work through those challenges, and come out the other side and feel good about the accomplishments that you've had. Even though you had challenges in your way, you used resilience to help you push forward and accomplish the goals that you wanted to accomplish. Another thing that a positive attitude does is it really helps with anxiety. We know that depression and anxiety occur in about 60% of people with Parkinson's. And if you have a positive attitude, it's hard to be anxious when you're positive. Think about you're doing an activity that you're really enjoying with your family and friends. You're having fun. Are you typically anxious? No, you're typically not thinking about being nervous or anxious about what's going to happen, because you're involved in the moment. And that's one of the keys with having a positive attitude. It helps you to stay in the moment so that you can enjoy the activities that you're participating in. Positive attitude also tends to help people uh, maintain and engage in healthy behaviors, like Number one, exercise. That was our first strategy. People with a positive attitude tend to, have a more regular exercise program and are looking to stay uh, healthy through exercise. They also tend to eat a more balanced diet. That was strategy number two, nutrition. People that have a positive attitude tend to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, grains, um, lean meats, and those type of things to stay healthy. Now, does that mean that they don't indulge in um, other things? Absolutely not. But overall, it helps them maintain a balanced diet. It also helps in getting adequate sleep. If you have a positive attitude, you tend to sleep um, better. And a positive attitude has been shown to help boost your immune system and help us recover from illnesses more quickly. Negative people seem to take longer to overcome illness than other people. It also helps to improve your relationships. Positive people tend to attract positive people. Positive energy, attracts, positive energy, and it helps to build stronger relationships. It helps optimize communication. People that have a positive attitude tend to be great listeners. One of the things that I learned at a managers meeting about 20 years ago, and I still remember it to this day, is that you have two ears and one mouth. Use them in that order. And that really struck home to me, because what it taught me is that instead of trying to formulate what I wanted to say while a person's talking, use the two ears that I have to really listen to what they have to say. And because a lot of times they're trying to convey how they feel, and then and then respond, because then you've actually listened to what they were trying to tell you. It helps. Positive attitude also helps with success. People that have a positive attitude tend to set ambitious goals and take on challenges that they a lot of times they didn't think they could do. Maybe someone signs up and says, I want to run a marathon, or I want to cycle for 500 miles. So a positive attitude is going to help overcome challenges, set goals, and then also help us persist when there's adversity, because we all face adversity in our life. A positive attitude is going to help with that. I'm going to go into a lot more detail as we move into future segments. So like I said, I don't want to give it away here, but if you have a positive attitude and you share that with others, you're going to have an exceptional quality of life. So living with a positive attitude is, to me, one of the best things that you can do to help live an exceptional life. All right. So now let's take a look at the final strategy, and then we'll wrap this up. All right, let's look at the fourth and final strategy that I've used to help me live an exceptional life, and that is community and social interaction. So, why is social interaction so important? Number one is it helps prevent isolation. A lot of people with when they've got a Parkinson's diagnosis, may just give up and drop out of a lot of the activities that they participated in and they enjoyed. And then they become homebound and isolated. And that leads to a whole host of other issues, such as depression, anxiety, that, we really want to help prevent. So maintaining your social interactions with your family and friends is so important. Social interaction also gives you emotional support, whether it's a club that you're in, whether it's your family and friends, um, whether it's a society that you belong to. You're going to get the emotional support you need when you participate and engage with others. So staying socially active is so important. It also helps with cognitive stimulation. When you're dealing with others, maybe you get together and you play trivia games, or you sit around and discuss current events, or you're part of a book club. All those things help with cognitive stimulation, which is important to help maintain your cognitive level and prevent cognitive decline. So, cognitive stimulation is one of the key things that's going to come out of social interactions. Another thing is it also gives you a sense of purpose. if you wake up and you are, you know that you're part of a group or organization and you have responsibilities, that gives you a sense of purpose, a sense of pride and accomplishment. So, for instance, you're part of the Lions Club or, um, another organization that is you're helping people. If it gives you a sense of purpose and makes you feel good that you're interacting and helping others. And finally, it gives you the chance to learn and share information, whether it's with your family and friends or whether it's with a group that you belong to. So it gives you the opportunity to learn from others as well. So social interaction is so important in helping to um, prevent isolation and give you a great quality of life, because you're going to stay actively engaged and it's going to help with a whole host of other things. So those are the 4 strategies. Let's go back and review those. So to wrap this up and tie it all together, let's review the 4 strategies that I've used to help me live an exceptional life. Number 1, exercise. So important in helping you maintain your mobility, balance, flexibility, and strength. Number 2 is nutrition. Make sure that you eat a balanced diet. It's going to help you keep maintaining both your health and an active lifestyle. Number 3 is attitude. A positive attitude is going to help you with resilience and give you the ability to overcome challenges. And then finally, number 4 was community and social interaction, which is so important in preventing isolation and getting you the emotional support that you need. So these are the 4 strategies that I used to lead an exceptional life. Now, my goal is to help as many people living with Parkinson's lead an exceptional life and a productive life. So if you know of others who can benefit from these strategies, please let them know about this podcast. I'd also ask you if you please visit my website, liveparkinsons.com, and sign up for the free monthly newsletter. I provide a lot of in-depth information on new products that are out, new therapies, new equipment, other things. Plus, there's a What's New corner. And then I also share webinars that are available and seminars as well. And I'd also request that you please provide any comments, questions, or reviews on my contact page. I'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions on how I can improve this podcast. And I also want to say that it's an open community where we can share successes and help each other. That's the ultimate goal, is to be able to help each other live great quality of lives. If you're interested about learning more about the 4 strategies, I wrote a book called Spectacular Life, 4 Strategies for Living with Parkinson's Disease, My Road to Happiness. It's available on Amazon, and I will put a link in the description for this podcast. So if you're interested, I would encourage you to check it out, and have a spectacular day.